Hello, hi, привіт, and welcome at the second episode of Chop Chop Ukraine. This episode is a Christmas edition episode where I would like to tell you a little bit more about Ukrainian ways of celebrating Christmas, since it is just around the corner. And of course, just like the rest of the world, in Ukraine we love Christmas, and it has a lot of meaning for Ukrainians, especially now. I would like to tell you more about our customs and traditions connected with it. So let's begin. Before Christianity, the lands of Ukraine were inhabited by pagans. Pagans believed in multiple gods and they also celebrated Christmas. However, back in those times, Christmas was not about birth of Christ or Jesus, it was the birth of the sun. And the sun was a vital force for our ancestors, and they were, as well as us, very curious about the world around us. So in order to better understand the world, the sun it was really important for them. It was symbolizing renewal and the beginning of something new. So on 25th of December or around those times, our ancestors also celebrated Christmas with all their unique ancient traditions. After Christianity, of course, we started celebrating this birth of Jesus, and the meaning of Christmas a little bit changed, but it remained at the same date, probably to keep this continuing, or maybe because around this time, or on 25th, I believe, it is the shortest day of the year, and now we celebrating having a different meaning of Christmas. Interestingly enough, after Christianity was introduced on Ukrainian lands, at that time Kiev, Rus, the people were celebrating Christmas both from pagan perspective and from Christian perspective, so it was kind of two beliefs at that time. Of course, Christmas has another meanings as well, and this is common across many countries, such as unifying with family. And for Ukrainians, at least, since our lands are very fertile and we have a lot of traditions and especially carols connected with crops, harvest, so agricultural meaning of Christmas is also very important for Ukrainians. So in Ukraine, we have a lot of traditional attributes of Christmas. First, and the most important attribute of Christmas is a Christmas star. And the Christmas star has a very religious meaning. It symbolizes the birth of Jesus. And also, very interestingly, is that Ukrainians are having a Christmas Eve dinner, which is in Ukrainian Свята Вечеря, on 24th of December, and we are waiting for the first star to appear on the sky before we will start the dinner. So, yeah, we are waiting for this. Second important attribute of Christmas is Diduch. Diduch represents wealth, prosperity, also protection from our ancestors, like not from, but along with, that ancestors are protecting us basically, but also it serves as a family protector. You can see Diduch over here. In Ukraine, we have a typical decoration, which is very traditional for Christmas and New Year time, which is called Christmas spider. It originates from north of Ukraine, but what I also found interesting is Nordic countries as well have similar decoration during Christmas, which is called Himeli. You can also order it on Amazon, and yeah, so this is some similarities. It's interesting, but in Ukraine, spider is made from straw, and it is typically in rhomboid shape. There are both big rhomboids and small rhomboids. Big rhomboids represent ancestors and old generation, and small rhomboids attached to it represents children. A candle is another important attribute of Christmas. It has a lot of religious meaning. I will not go too much into the details here, but usually candles are put in Christmas bread. Christmas bread is very nicely shaped bread made of yeast, and it's a little bit sweet. It's very sacral. Actually, bread is very sacral for Ukrainians, and I believe for another for everybody around the world. But in Ukraine, we have a lot of rituals connected with baking the bread. I watched some videos from Odessa region of Ukraine, and I realized that there are also a lot of so rituals. Basically, it's not allowed to come in into someone's house when the bread is being baked. You also do not invite people you do not know during the process of baking the bread, because it can influence the bread badly. So yeah, a lot of different nice rituals connected with it. But to sum up, we put candles in this bread. Okay, so once the presents are ready, the food is ready, and the all attributes of Christmas are in the house. Let's begin, and let me tell you a little bit more about what we do on the certain days of Christmas. On 24th of Christmas, as I mentioned already, it's Sveta Večerya in Ukraine, and you do not eat the whole day, and you are waiting for the first star to appear in the sky. And 24th of December is actually the end of fasting. So based on the tradition, all dishes on the Christmas Eve table should be lean and should not contain animal products. And in Ukraine, we have 12 dishes which should be on the table, and those 12 dishes represent the 12 apostles. However, in Ukraine, we had difficult times, and not always we had the opportunity to serve 12 dishes. Sometimes it was 3, sometimes it was 6. During Holodomor, there were probably none, so it really differs through the history, but in modern Ukraine, we are serving 12 dishes. And what dishes are those? The first and most important dish is Ukrainian kutya. And kutya is the best dish and the most, of course, symbolic dish on Christmas Eve table. Kutya is a wheat, boiled wheat, usually coming with some honey, nuts, dried fruits. My mom, for example, also put marmalade in it. And the ways of making kutya, there are many ways of making kutya, just probably like borscht. Kutya is a very maybe specific dish, and I try to make my foreign friends to try kutya, and surprisingly they were not as excited as me. I find it really interesting. It's a I cannot explain this. It's just, they didn't say that it's the best in the world.
All eyes are on Sander. How is it? What? You should...
During Christmas Eve, we also serve a typical Ukrainian drink, which is kompot or uzvar. It's basically the drink made of boiled dry fruits. So also made my some of my foreign friends try it. Not everyone enjoyed it. Yeah, but it is nice. It's nice. And going to another 12 dishes on Ukrainian table, it is different from family to family, from region to region, but usually it's dumplings, vareniki with potatoes or cabbage, and stewed cabbage. Yeah, just let me just show you so you see it better with the name. Just like Dutch people, we also like haring. Haring is usually served with onions on top. And yeah, what can be better than haring, right? Vertep is very old Ukrainian tradition. Vertep usually refers to the storytelling connected with folk drama, and also usually involving humorous or sarcastic elements. I want to show you some footage of Vertep so you can see how it looks.
Прийшли до вашої хати, коза стала здихати. Тож, господарі, не мудруйте за козу, викуп готуйте. Дайте козі сала, щоб вона знов поскакала.
Дайте козі ячмень, а нам грошей повно жмень.
Чи й горішків жмень,
Ситній у кишень.
Ще й мірочку жита, щоб коза була сита. За щедрівки хороші, давайте нам гроші. Ну що?
лежить, не дихає, кличте аптекаря, щоб коза знову замекала.
Я й доктор, я й лікар, я й трохи аптекар. Лікую всіх без перестанку, щоденно з вечора до ранку. Укол козі я дам у вухо, буде літати як муха.
Лежить, не дише, і хвіст не колише.
Та треба дуду брати, козу визволяти. Візьмемо дудочку і кізоньку милу, усім на диван, даю саму живу.
Коза жила, та й підвелася, та й піднялася, та й пішла коза, та й гуляючи, та й сидяючи, усіх діточок веселяючи.
So, колядування. On 25th of December, we are usually singing carols and going from house to house and wishing owners of the house happy New Year and Merry Christmas. Singing carols is very big tradition in Ukraine, as well as just coming to the door from door to door and yeah, and receiving later some candies or some small presents. Usually kids are doing it more often, but in Western Ukraine, for example, there are special chorus or group bands of singers who are coming to the neighbors, singing, wishing them, but also also later being invited to homes and staying with family members of this house, eating, drinking, and sometimes they can spend there even up to 2 hours. Not many people know that the most famous Christmas song, Щедрик, or in English, Carols of the Bell, actually originated from Ukraine and was composed by Ukrainian composer Mykola Leontovich in 1914. So initially, this song had more of the New Year meaning, and since it is traced this folk music back from pagan times, the New Year at that time was not celebrated in 31st of December, but in March. That's why this song is singing that the bird is coming from the warm land. So it is actually having a lot of meaning that it is not in December, because no birdie will come back in December from the warm land. And in Ukraine, we have many carols, which the most oldest ones are about the creation of the world. But there are many of them which are about harvest, about the family, and so on, you name it. In the description below, I will put the playlist in Spotify with Ukrainian traditional folk carols, which you can listen if you are interested and if you would like. The Christmas is actually incomplete without a Christmas Grinch, the Grinch of Christmas. And in Ukraine, we have much more cruel Grinch from the one we usually see on TV. Ukrainian Grinch is actually Russia, and when Ukraine got occupied by Russian Empire and later from the Soviet Union, Soviet Union tried in all possible means and ways stop people from celebrating Christmas, as it was incomparable with their communism doctrine. In 1930, the goal of Bolsheviks and communists became very clear. They want to prevent Ukrainians from celebrating Christmas and erase their traditions of Vertep, Kolodovania, and so on. The churches were burned, their icons were burned as well, and Ukrainians were banned from celebrating Christmas. However, this strategy didn't work, and the Ukrainians continued celebrating Christmas secretly. So there should be another strategy how to prevent people from celebrating Christmas. In 1939, Pavlo Postichev, Russian communist who was also responsible for organizing Holodomor on Ukrainian lands, came up with a different strategy. He wanted to put the Christmas tree on New Year Eve, so everybody has festive atmosphere during New Year, and everywhere in kindergarten, schools, and workplaces there will be Christmas tree, and people should celebrate Christmas like New Year Eve instead of Christmas. And I must admit this strategy partially worked, so many people started to celebrate a New Year more than Christmas. Of course, not all, and this is fantastic. And since 2022, especially after Russia invaded Ukraine, more people are becoming aware in Ukraine about Ukrainian traditions, Ukrainian ways of celebrating Christmas, and basically being conscious that what happened to our history back to the times of Russian occupation by Soviet Union. This is all for now when it comes to Ukrainian Christmas. What I wanted to share with you in this episode, and I just wanted to wish you Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and see you soon in another episodes of Chop Chop Ukraine.